Dear friends, this is a story reminding us that acts of kindness can bring people together. Stay with me until the end of this story, and if you found this story inspiring, share it with your friends and family. Let's spread positivity to the world. In a busy English town called Hillswick, there stood a half-finished building surrounded by steel beams, bricks, and loud machinery. Day after day, construction workers bustled about, determined to meet their tight deadlines. Among them was Adam, a kind-hearted worker always willing to lend a helping hand. One chilly morning, a stray dog, later nicknamed Rusty, wandered onto the site. He looked tired and thin, his fur matted with dust. The sight of the scrawny dog melted Adam's heart. While everyone else hurried to their tasks, Adam snuck in bits of leftover lunch and whispered a friendly, "Hey, boy," whenever he passed by. Adam's boss, Mr. Cole, was a strict and gruff site manager who believed that every second spent not working was money lost. He spotted Rusty rummaging around piles of debris and scowled. "Get that mutt out of here," Mr. Cole snarled. "He's a distraction." Adam gently tried to usher Rusty outside the fence perimeter. The dog gave him a longing look before trotting away. Adam felt a twinge of guilt but knew he couldn't argue with his boss. Yet Rusty kept returning. Each day, he came back to the same spot, hoping for more scraps and a little kindness. The workers on site started to notice, too. Some teased Adam for having a construction site pet. Others, inspired by Adam's kindness, would toss Rusty scraps when Mr. Cole wasn't looking. But for Mr. Cole, it was just another annoyance. "Our job is to build," he would say, "not to babysit a stray." One afternoon, workers had dug a deep trench to lay the foundation for a retaining wall. Nobody realized Rusty was lurking around until a sudden yelp echoed through the clamor of machinery. Adam dropped his tools and sprinted over to the trench. There, at the bottom of the pit, lay Rusty, whining in fear. The dog had slipped on loose gravel and tumbled in. Adam's heart pounded. He shouted for help, and several workers rushed over. When Mr. Cole arrived, his brows furrowed at the sight of the dog. "Let's pull him out," Adam urged. Mr. Cole folded his arms. "We're behind schedule. We can't waste equipment and time on a stray dog. We have to fill that trench by the end of the day." Shocked gasps rippled through the workers. Filling the trench meant burying Rusty alive. Adam couldn't believe his ears. "Sir, we can't just leave him there. It's cruel. He's just a stray," Mr. Cole insisted. "We have to finish our job. Fill it up." The men looked at one another, torn between following orders and doing what was right. Slowly, one worker lifted a shovel. Then another. Adam stood at the edge of the trench, watching dirt begin to rain down onto Rusty. The poor dog yelped louder, scrambling in vain to climb the walls. Adam couldn't bear it any longer. He grabbed a ladder from the supply area and braced it against the trench wall. "I won't let you do this," he said, voice trembling with emotion. "If you want me to keep working here, you'll have to let me try to save him." Mr. Cole's face hardened, but he wasn't heartless. He sighed and waved a dismissive hand. "Fine, but make it quick. We're on a deadline." Adam slid down into the trench, comforting Rusty with a gentle voice. "Easy, boy. I've got you." Rusty, trembling, licked Adam's hand, as if he understood this was his lifeline. With great effort, Adam lifted Rusty, then guided the dog's paws onto the ladder rungs. The dog struggled, nails scraping against the metal, but Adam continued to push him upward. A few workers, touched by Adam's determination, set aside their shovels and rushed to help. They pulled Rusty out with careful hands. Although Mr. Cole looked annoyed, he allowed them a brief moment to cradle the dog, who let out a shaky breath, safe at last. Rusty was exhausted and limped slightly, but he was alive. The rescue, however, did not ease Mr. Cole's frustration. "We wasted too much time. Back to work, all of you. And that dog." He eyed Rusty. "Get him off this site for good." Adam carried Rusty outside the gate, setting him down gently. "I can't stay with you right now, buddy," he whispered regretfully, patting the dog's head. "But I promise I'll come back." Later that evening, the skies opened and rain poured down in sheets. Adam, now off work, couldn't stop thinking about Rusty wandering the streets alone in the storm. Torn with worry, he grabbed his coat, hopped into his old pickup truck, and began driving around. After a short search, he spotted Rusty curled up, soaked, under a half-collapsed bus stop shelter. Adam scooped him up and took him home. Over the next few days, Adam brought Rusty to the vet, had him cleaned up, and offered him a warm place to sleep. Rusty slowly regained his energy and bright spirit. Not long after, Mr. Cole arranged for a small break area in the corner of the site, instructing the crew to keep it clean. And he mumbled, "The dog can stay around, outside the main work zone, of course, if it keeps you all happy." That single gesture changed everything. The men worked with renewed energy, feeling that their manager cared, at least a little, about what mattered to them. Rusty, in turn, became a sort of mascot, trotting around to greet the crew, brightening everyone's day. Mr. Cole, though still strict, had learned something about compassion. His workers noticed he became fairer with schedules and far less dismissive of their concerns. My dear friends, the story of Rusty and the construction crew reminds us that even in a hectic world of deadlines and heavy responsibilities, there's always room for kindness. Adam's brave refusal to back down when Rusty was in danger turned the tide, teaching both Mr. Cole and the entire crew that there's more to work than just profit or speed. Remember, never ignore a chance to help someone or some creature in need. Compassion isn't a sign of weakness. It's a powerful force that can transform skepticism into respect and cruelty into kindness. Even in the toughest circumstances, a single spark of empathy can shed light on a better, more caring path forward. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, Tales to Share. Stay tuned for more inspiring adventures. See you in the next story.